It's about that time.
Pre-record on my count. 7, 6, 5, 4. Here we go, Roger.
On INSiiGHTS, 2 eyes in the middle. INSiiGHTS, where we always talk the talk.
Hello, everybody. Rick Brown, a survivor, FAMU Homecoming 2021. They say it was the best ever, but when we was there, you couldn't even find a seat in the stairwells. We thought the fire marshal was going to close us down. Everybody sitting in the stairwell, and you had them sitting on the hill. If you scored a touchdown, you ain't come back. They say what they want to say. It was we had a bunch of superstars. Well, boy, it ain't full as it used to be. I don't care what they say.
I don't know. It was the largest that I've been in Bragg, 31,000. Legitimately. I mean, not just tickets sold. I know they did some additions to Bragg Stadium to enlarge it from 25 when I was a student there. But it was an epic day. It was an epic weekend. It was incoming class of 86, way to represent. It was good. I'm glad I went.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was a nice turnout, but you hadn't learned yet about turnstile figures yet. I thought I tried to educate you about that.
No. I know turnstile figures, but like I said, it looked like 31,000. It wasn't pockets of emptiness around. It was, and I didn't want to be there like that. I was scared. That's why I had my mask on all game.
Well, you should have. The pockets were there early.
Oh, early, yeah. People were still waiting.
Traditionally, in the old days, it wasn't no pockets there. And I remember them trying to close it down because you couldn't even get up to your seat because people were sitting in the aisleway, and they were trying to keep the fire marshal from coming in and closing us down. Yeah, so it was pretty ugly, but it was an outstanding event, and we all pretty excited about it and happy about it. But moving the show right along and making sure we stay at least a little bit on schedule, we got your name has come up in a comment, and I'm just gonna read the whole comment. First thing they said, Mick shaved. So they started with that. And he said, I just listened to the one from last week, got a chance to listen to Dr. Gaines, the modern day Martin Luther the King. Any brother that can see the beginning, can see the end in the beginning, I need to tune in. And they said, Earl, they talk about he on that ass. He said, he is must-see radio. He said, the Bulldog said, let me get the hell out of here when we were at Alabama A&M. And he said, he showed the Bulldog walking and said, you remember that? Because that thing was hysterical.
That was funny.
Then he said, let's get vaccinated. And then he said, on your piece, he said, the 49ers traded up to get ahead of Dallas to pick Jerry Rice. He said the Cowboys was sitting there at 17 and they jumped up to 16. Rick, Stephen A., the reporter said, Cleveland just needs to get healthy. My question to the reporter, what does Washington need to do? Said,
fire their owner?
You mentioned the Cowboys and all Rick could do was just growl. Like it's killing him for us to have success. He got that Stephen A. type hate. He say you won't argue that, huh?
No, I facts. Facts. Say less. Yes. Yeah, I do. I hate Dallas. Hate. And that is a bad word, strong word. But I hate Dallas. I do.
I had to give that comment. I had to give that to you.
I needed it. I needed that. That made me feel better. Thank you.
And wait till we get to the pick'em. We've had big change at pick'em. So we we got a big one there. But because we have Coach Tyson coming in, we're gonna make sure that we do our high school component with the Hank High School Review, and then we're gonna get the Coach Tyson right after that.
Let's roll.
Coach Slick Rick, man, oh man, oh man. Last week was truly epic. As we stated, it was homecoming week for the greatest university on the face of the earth, the Florida A&M University. An absolutely fantastic week of events took place here on the highest of Seven Hills. But we also had a fantastic week for high school football as the playoff picture begins to take shape. As Monroe, JP2, Madison, Florida High, Wakulla, Rickers, and Lincoln all position themselves for playoff contention. And not to be outdone are our friends in South Georgia, as Thomasville High and Brooks County are gearing up for postseason action. So let's get to the results and upcoming action for the week. We begin Thursday night as Lincoln laid the lumber to Fort Walton Beach, 32-0. It took a half for them to get revved up, but once they did, it was a wrap. Coach Jimmy Tyson has done an outstanding job with his squad in his first season. Now moving to Friday, the INSiiGHTS game of the week was not a game at all. It was a drubbing as Monroe showed their superiority. Ooh, that was a big word. Yes, a big word over McClay by mauling the Marauders 39-0. Arcilla was bested again by Rocky Bayou 42-20. I say again because they've already played twice this year. I don't understand that. Florida High took a forfeit over FAMU DRS. Pensacola wasted their gas again traveling east, taking another beating as Wakulla walloped them 37-13. Childs took care of Leon 28-14. Madison whipped Bradford 32-14. Rickers outlasted Choctaw 34-28. And man, it's just always tough playing over there in Chaltahatchee. Godby most likely ended their season with a 45-26 win over Arnold. And my son finally reached the end zone and then proceeded to throw the damn ball in the air. All I could do was shake my head. But I must admit, he gets it honest, because if I had scored when I was in high school, I probably would have done the worm the entire 100 yards down the field, only taking a pause to break dance at midfield. And the shocker of the week was in Panama City as Corey Fuller led his team to Mosley as Gadsden County prevailed 23-17 in double overtime. Over in Georgia, Thomasville blasted Berrien 35-14, and Brooks County brought the hammer to Turner County and took them to the woodshed 70. Yes, I said 70-41. So now this week, we only have 6 games on the slate. Wakulla will take on Childs. Leon will take on JP2. Trinity Christian will make their third trip to Tallahassee as they take on Lincoln. Florida High will match up against Swanee. Monroe will take on Zarephath Academy. And the INSiiGHTS game of the week, which I will call on the PA, so there's no telling what I might say, brings Madison County to town to take on my man, Quentin Lewis, and the Ricketts Raiders. On the college front, the Florida State Seminoles must have really talked bad about the referees because they were victim of some very unfavorable officiating at Clemson. But my FAMU Rattlers, what can I say? They improved their win streak at home to 10 in a row, which is one of the longest streaks in the country. Now, for the life of me, I don't understand why the folks from Grambling had so much to say before the game, but now you can't find them suckers anywhere. They're probably having nightmares from the sound of the cannon firing after each score. And now, Southern, you are on the clock. Until next week, stay safe, get vaccinated. Have you thought about improving the curb appeal of your home or business? If so, call Hank. My pressure washing service will give your property a fresh look that you are needing at an affordable price. Just take a look at some of these improvements. If you are in need, give Hank a shout. I'll get you right.
You heard me talk about Coach Tyson, first year head coach at Lincoln. I cannot say first year coach because he's been coaching for a minute. I mean, like, as soon as he got through playing at FAMU, they kept him around as a GA. They said he got a little bit got some cerebral vortex up there working with him. We need to keep this young man around. He's been at a couple of the high schools at DRS and Gabi, I believe. And then he was over at Lincoln and has come in. And I won't say it's been an ideal situation, but it's been ideal for Jimmy because he's made it work. Coach Tyson, we'd like to welcome you again to INSiiGHTS because you've been on earlier and we appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you for the invite.
What's up, Coach?
What's good with you?
Hey, it's your world, brother. It's your world.
Yes, sir. Coach Tyson. First of all, I'm gonna get right to the nitty gritty.
Okay.
And I'm gonna ask you, Coach. You like the third head coach these kids had in 3 years, and you go in and you've been a part of the program. I mean, it wasn't like you came from the outside. The kids knew you. How much did that help you in terms of making the transition and getting those guys to feel like somebody, really cares about them and wants to be there with them?
I think it made a world of difference. Anytime you go into a place and you're new, it takes time to build a relationship with kids that they'll trust in you. And because I've been there the last 4 years, they know my personality, they know who I was, and they were ready to just buy into everything we were trying to do. And that's why I feel like we've had pretty good success early.
Oh, no, it couldn't get much better unless you were undefeated. It comes in 7-2. And, peaking kind of seems like you're peaking at the right time, Coach.
Yeah, we dealt with a whole lot of stuff in the beginning of the year with COVID and some different issues with injuries. But like you said, we're peaking at the right time. We got a lot of guys back off of those issues. And now we're ready to kind of gear up for the playoffs.
Coach, the two previous head coaches had a very strong offensive background. And you came in as the defensive guru. What was that transition like in terms of, you seeing, like maybe a lot of people might not understand, you seeing the game from a different perspective? How did that really help you?
I think it is always good to get a viewpoint from a different side. I thought Coach Gray and Coach Daniels did an excellent job being a head coach and an offensive mind and setting up stuff for success on offense. And we followed a lot of the principles they put in. I just tweaked stuff that from a defensive minded guy, that things that hurt the defense, and be able to say, okay, these are the things defensive coordinators are scared of. And let's make sure we add those things to it. And we've done a really good job. Of course, we got two dynamic quarterbacks, and any defensive coordinator hates a good quarterback, especially if he can run the ball, because that's extra gaps and different things. We have to, spy quarterbacks and different things like that. And we have two that can really go.
Well, you had a returning starter at quarterback, and I noticed that you have done a real good job of getting your next year's quarterback ready.
That was one thing we wanted, was a plan we set in place that we wanted to always be preparing for the future. And those two guys work together really well. Perry is committed to Maryland as an athlete, so we always want to get him reps at playing receiver and different stuff. And that just frees up our backup quarterback, Aiden Fryer, to play quarterback. And he's done an excellent job starting to develop and really doing a really good job throwing the football.
Okay. I know that, you've always commented that, it's really about the kids, a lot like what we say here at INSiiGHTS. Do you kind of look at your relationship with those guys and being in education as part of your own personal ministry to be able to help these young men?
I truly believe I was under Coach Taylor at FAMU on his staff, and he always said coaching was a ministry. It was about helping others. And I truly believe that. And everything we do is for the kids. On the high school level, realistically, the hours we put in, we don't really make a whole lot of money when you start calculating that type stuff. But we do it because we love to impact young people's lives. And we really have a family atmosphere at Lincoln. And it's to the point now is sometimes I go to leave and there's so many kids still there and I'm trying to kick them out to go home and they just like being around, which is a good thing. So I really like the direction we're trending in.
Well, how much has your faith helped you as head coach?
Oh, faith is always the first thing. Jesus was a servant leader. And a lot of people don't understand the part of leadership. Is a lot of times it's about self and egos, and not sacrifice for others. And I think that's really kind of how I've centered coaching. And I've learned that also through some great coaches I've been under over the past. And I think that really the kids buy in because they see it. They see the sacrifice as a leader, and then they in turn sacrifice. I mean, our motto for the year is one body. It's kind of a biblical concept of, we got out of Corinthians that everybody has a role on the team. And some people, a lot of times nowadays, it's about I. And we're trying to just teach our young people that everybody has a role on the team. And if you don't do your role, it affects the whole body. And I think they're bought into it. And that's why you see the starting quarterback can step out and say, hey, you go in, you get your reps, you learn, because any moment I can go down or I can be at a different position, and we need you to be at your best.
Well, Coach, I'm glad to hear you handle the question that I gave you, because a lot of times people don't really like to touch on their own personal faith. And one thing I'd heard coming in was the type of person that you were, that everybody kind of knows that about you. Mm-hmm. And that you were using that and kind of instilling that in the young men that are part of your program. And a lot of it comes from the coaches you had too as well.
Oh yeah. I mean, when I was at FAM, I came to know Christ through Fellowship of Christian Athletes, FCA. And we were just doing a coach's Bible study, and I got kind of called out on my language as a coach. And for some reason, it kind of stuck with me. In the next couple meetings, we talked about it. And from there, we started kind of walking through the Bible and really seeing how to coach, how to be a man, how to be a leader, and how to live it out. And I thought that really kind of changed my life. So I try to do the same with our players, show them not just the Bible, but how to live it out. And I think they're starting to gravitate to it.
Okay, Coach, unfortunately, in our community, crime is on the rise. Mm-hmm. And I know with the young men that you have under your tutelage that it concerns you. And I know that for a fact. And what do you do or implement with your team to try to talk to them about staying away from some of those negative influences that are out there that can completely change their life?
Well, first thing is I'm lucky because at Lincoln we have some really good kids, typically we don't have a whole lot of kids into the streets. The big thing is decision making and making bad choices. And we look at different choices and what can take you down the wrong path. We bring different people out of the community from all facets of the community to talk to our kids about different choices, different situations. We bring in law enforcement to talk to our kids because sometimes it's the littlest thing that can get you in big trouble that you don't really even think about. So we talk about those things. We bring the media in and let them talk about social media and kind of the pitfalls from social media that they can fall in. Just sharing the wrong picture can cause a kid his whole career and those types of things. So really it's the decision making and making wise decisions.
Okay. What has been your biggest adjustment after working as an assistant coach and now being the head coach? What's been your biggest adjustment?
Really being able to connect to a whole group of people, because a lot of times as a assistant coach, you're just focused on the kids. You don't have to really interact with parents, administration, booster clubs, all of that. And I'm still working on, because I'm kind of a perfectionist, so I want to be great at all of it, and that's really tough to do because you're being pulled all different directions. So really trying to be able to be accessible to a whole group of people.
You end up being the CEO and administrator of your program. Let me ask you another question along that line. A lot of time, the assistant coach, the assistant coach is always the most well-liked because he always, man, if it was me, I'd do that, man. I don't know why you ain't playing it. But now you got to be the person where the buck stops with you. So it kind of changes the relationship. Me being an assistant coach and then being a head coach, it kind of changes your relationship because now you have to, the buck stops with you.
Well, I think over the years and the staffs I've been on, I've had to kind of reinvent myself. Just give you an example, Coach Gray was a real disciplinary and real strong on the kids, which was a good thing. So I had to be kind of the good cop. Coach Daniels was kind of a younger guy and kind of was more of the good cop. So I had to be more of the bad cop. So it's just kind of understanding your staff and understanding who fills those roles and just kind of weaving through that. So sometimes I'm the good cop, sometimes I'm the bad cop. It just depends on the situation.
Okay. Rick, you have a question?
Yeah, Coach, tell me, what has surprised you, or has anything really stood out that just really surprised you in your first year?
Like I said, just the amount of interaction with parents. I think we have a good group of parents, and they want to be plugged in. So spending time, communicating with parents, that's probably been the biggest thing, because I've always been accessible. I always want to share because I don't want to just kind of pour into the kids. I want to pour into parents too. And so just spending that time with parents, it takes some time off of football, and I like the X's and O's, so I have to kind of pull back from some of the X's and O's to spend time with booster clubs and parents.
Are you a junkie, football junkie?
Oh, I'm a football guy, hands down. I've been blessed to be under a lot of good football guys. I learned a lot under Earl Holmes when he was at Pittsburgh, and some of the blitzes and the schemes that they instilled at Pittsburgh, and he brought the FAMU. I was able to take that, and we use a lot of that stuff to this day. So I'm a X's and O's guy.
So what's next? What would be a successful season for your club?
Well, we've for some reason kind of hit the wall in the second round of the playoffs. So we want to be able to get past the second round of the playoffs. I think we have a club that that's well-rounded on offense, defense, and special teams. And I think we're geared up to do that. We have some experienced leaders that have been in those last 2 years where we lost in the second round. And I think they've learned from those mistakes, because I think last year we kind of took the team lightly because they were kind of at the time 4 and 5, and we were having a pretty good season. So I think we kind of overlooked them a little bit, and it kind of hurt us. So I think every week we use the term locked in, and on game day we want to be locked in. We don't want to deal with any other distractions, and our leaders have done a great job with that the last 4 weeks.
How many seniors do you have, Coach?
Ooh, we got a lot. We have 28 seniors, and we have a lot of great leaders in the senior group, and we actually have a lot of great juniors too. So our juniors have done a good job, and our seniors with leading each other, and when something needs to be said, saying it.
Out of that 28 seniors you have, about how many of them are being recruited?
So we have about half of those guys being recruited right now. It's when I was coaching college and last couple of years of high school, COVID has changed recruiting a whole lot. COVID plus the portal has made a big difference in recruiting. Now it's super important to be on top of your grades and having everything in order, because scholarships are limited now because so many schools are saving scholarships for the portal or for transfers. And plus a lot of kids came back with that COVID year. So we're working really hard to get our kids seen, to get the information out when coaches are in town, because now coaches are really starting to get back to getting on campus. So just being able to be around the college coaches and show our kids off and showcase our kids.
As a former coach and still being connected a little bit to some collegiate coaches, a lot of the assistants are having problems with some head coaches because the head coaches want to get the kids off the transfer portal and don't really want to recruit the kids out of high school unless they're a super stud. And that's what is your thought on that?
My big belief in all I can do is prepare our kids, because the theme to me is a lot of coaches on the college level want kind of ready-made kids ready to play. So we want our program to be able to go through strength and conditioning, understanding of the game, understanding of schemes and systems, so they can look at our kids and say, okay, they're ready to be plugged in and play. And we've had, good success over the last couple of years of having our guys sign and play right away as freshmen and true redshirt freshmen.
And that's true. And that's really a change in how it's gone, because back in the day, you almost expected to redshirt your first year.
Yeah.
Now they want you to play the first year, or they can invest in somebody else.
Yep. So we want our kids to be ready. We run schemes on offense and defense and special teams that are high-level schemes that translates very well to college, so they're ready and prepared for college. I think having a winning program prepares kids, because a lot of times when you're on a losing program, you don't understand what it takes to win. You don't understand the preparation, the film study, the taking care of your body, the nutrients, all those things. So we really preach those things and try to put out a good product for colleges.
Coach, is there anything that you'd like to say before we close? And I know this is key for you, your administrative support and the outstanding booster club you have over there.
We do have an outstanding booster club. It makes my job a lot easier when you don't have to go out and beg for money, because you have people that support it and people that go out and beat the bushes and reach out and have connections. We can do a lot of stuff, which is good for the kids. We have maybe 7-8 different jersey combinations and helmets and different stuff. And our kids love it. You know, we love putting our kids out there. And that's all because of our booster club and the fact that they're helping raise money. And our parents do an excellent job. Our administration is really key in helping the success of our program. To me, that's the lifeblood. In college, we used to say recruiting was the lifeblood of your team. To me, administration in high school. They have to back you. They have to support you for your program to be successful. And we have a great administration that has a lot of former coaches and understand what it goes into coaching that really help us. And it's a lot of times I sit down with them and ask them, what are you seeing on your side as a former coach that maybe I'm missing as a young, coach? And they do an excellent job sharing with me.
Wow, Coach, that's pretty good there. That's pretty good because your booster club at Lincoln is kind of the envy of a lot of high schools around here.
Yep.
The type of support that they have traditionally given, and you even have a lot of parents that are active whose sons have long since graduated.
Oh yeah. Now we did take a hit from COVID, and we lost a lot of interaction with parents, but it's getting back now. Now that it's more open, people are willing to be around people more. So we probably tripled our enrollment of our booster club this past year because now everybody's kind of back moving around. So we would like to, do great numbers with that even more.
Coach, before we close, anything you'd like to say that you think you would want to say to people with a couple more games left and playoffs starting? What would you like for people to know about you or your program?
We're always working on ourselves. We're always trying to get better. Our standard is our standard, no matter what the situation is. I think we have great kids at a great school, and we have like I said, one body. I think we're all working together as a school, and it's a great place to be. I just want to let anybody know it's a great place to be at. It's a lot of great programs in Tallahassee, and we faced a lot of good programs. We would like to face all the programs in Tallahassee, so we won't have to travel as much. So I think it's good to get back the city championship and everybody kind of play in the city, and then also play teams from around the state that to show our county is a strong football county.
Awesome.
Coach, I appreciate you taking the time and sharing this with us on Insights. One thing we know, I'm a basketball guy, but the football coaches are usually so busy. Not that basketball isn't, but you have a lot more people you're responsible for, and it takes a lot for you to kind of carve out some time to speak with us. And we appreciate you. We're proud of what you're doing at Lincoln. We wish you continued success and to keep on making a name for yourself. And as you said, it's all about the kids. And stick around for a little while. Don't let the kids have to find another coach, have another coach next year. Hang around with them for a little while, Coach.
I'm here to stay. I'm not going anywhere. I built roots. I bought a home. My wife is a teacher, been a teacher here for years and years and years. So this is home for us. We love what we do as teachers and coaches. I'm not going anywhere. I want to thank you guys for all you do, the exposure you put on our athletes with your shows and just covering our athletics. So I appreciate all you guys do and all your hard work.
Thanks, Coach. As we say, it's hashtag it's about the kids. And I said we do the games. All our games are still up there. They're free. We want the kids to encourage them to send them to family, send them to coaches. Let coaches see you. One of the biggest things that we have is when coaches and kids tell us that they sent the tape off, somebody saw it, and they were able to get a scholarship from it. That's that's what it's about, Coach.
Yep.
And again, we wish you good luck. And anything that Insights can do, It's done.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you. We're gonna
Thanks, Coach.
step
Thank
away a little bit now and see. We're gonna bring in a show that we did with FAMU High girls and Ericka Cromartie, and preview basketball coming up. But we had to get you in before the season was over, Coach.
Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
All right. Now.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're here today with FAMU High, their girls team, and we're doing the INSiiGHTS high school preview for the local teams, getting you an opportunity to get a chance to know them, see them, and hear what their projections are. You have Coach Ericka Cromartie. She's built a continuing powerhouse down there at FAMU High. But she's a little bit without her twins, so she got some young ladies that are waiting for their opportunity to show what they can do. Coach Cromartie, tell us what this year's expectations are for this group led by a few of your seniors that we see back there.
Yeah, this year, as previous years, the goal is to win state, but at the same time, we try to develop character, cohesiveness, and just success. So this year, it's a little different. We have some new faces, but the goal is still the same. So we started on Monday. We've been working hard, and we trying to. We this year is a little different because we set goals, and actually we posted the goals on my door. So throughout the whole season, they'll come by and see the goals on the door and see if they're living up to it. If they're not, then we got to pick it up. But it's a little different this year. It's starting off in the right direction. Not saying last year didn't, but this season just seems a little bit different this year.
Yeah, with that smile on your face tells me that you're a little excited about this year.
Yeah, I am. I mean, because, as a coach, you're a former coach. Even though sometimes you have the same players, it still can be different. So this year we have some of the same players, but we have some new players as well. So my biggest thing is to see how they mesh, and hopefully we mesh at the right time. Because when we were interviewed by WCXL, she was like, Coach, I know it got to be kind of irritating. You keep getting down there and you come back empty. I said, it's not irritating. I said, but it is kind of like what is missing. So I think this year we're really going to advance it and just kind of like pick it up and just get over the hump.
Okay, one of the things, even with that question, you get there, there's a lot of teams that don't get there. So the fact that your team makes it to the Final Four is an accomplishment. But because you've had so much success in the past, it's almost like championship or bust. And I don't necessarily think that's the case. I just looking at some of the two of the young ladies behind you, look like you have some characters on this team.
Yeah. These are my seniors, and another one is missing is Alex Reddick. But for start with Amir Logan, she came to me in the 8th grade. So she actually came when we kind of were rebuilding in a sense. So she's seen the struggles and she's seen the success. So I know this year has to be, I'm speaking for her, I know this year has to be special because it's like she's been up with us, she's been down with us, you know what I mean? So I know she wants to end it on a good note. And Tanaya, I'm sorry. It's a saying we have. I always call her Naya. Nia. She like, Coach, it's Naya. So she know I'm the one that can do that. But she came to us from Miami, and it feels like she's been with us longer than what she has been because it's just that camaraderie we have. She just fits in like family. And for her, she works hard, and I want her to experience it as well. All of them. And then Alex, I taught her actually when she was at Crossroad. And so then she came over to FAMU DRS. So even with her, we have history. I just want them to experience actually winning it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I've experienced it, but I haven't experienced it with these young ladies. So I just pray they have that success and just know how it feels.
Okay. Is it Amiria Logan?
Amiri.
Tell me what this season means to you.
Well, this season means a lot to me. I've been with Coach Cromartie since I was in 8th grade. I seen that when Jasmine Jones was here, I seen all the excitement they had while playing. So I was like, that one, I want to be like them. When I come here, I want to be a part of this family. So when I came, I kind of got into my groove as I grow. And now I just actually I've been to state so many times. I want that experience that previous teams had. So yeah, my goal is to like help the team win state championships.
Okay, tell me a little bit about what it feels like to be a senior on this team.
It actually feels good. Like previous years when not being a senior, I mean, I still did my thing, but now I feel like it's time for me to step up my game just a little bit and like go ahead and do my thing.
Okay, I like that. Okay, Antonia, tell me about what this year means to you as a senior.
This year is very important to me because I feel like this could be like my last like game plan with them as like family, because I have to go off and meet new people. And I done like grown closer to them. So it's very important to me, improving myself to people who doubted me. So it's important.
Who on your schedule do you look forward to playing? I know you look forward to the next game. Who's your arch rival game?
Forward to playing on Florida High.
Coach, what do you want to say to your supporters? You seem like you have really good base of fans that have supported you in your career, that follow and get behind the girls at DRS. What does that mean to you and to your program to have that kind of support?
It means a lot. Like you said, when I was a player, we had a strong fan base. So to see it carry over to me as a coach is even more important. And they do follow. I mean, they travel, their parents, just people in the community, they really, really, really follow the girls. And even if they don't make it to a game, I get text messages, phone calls saying, hey, we saw the news, or we saw the girls in the store. We told me we was proud of them. So it's just a good feeling to know that it's not just us. We have people in the school that actually support what we're trying to do.
One thing, you don't back off anybody. You play anybody.
Oh, no, exactly. No. Yeah. Well, because we look at it, and you know this as a former coach, we look at it as games that we can build on. You're not going to win them all. You wish you would, but you don't. And sometimes when you lose, it's not really a loss. Sometimes it can be a win because you learn so much from it. So I'm not saying I want to lose all our games, but the games that we might lose, if we learn from it, it's still a win in my book. And if it's going to propel us to do what we need to do in the postseason, I'm all here for it. I just, people ask me, what will we do different? We're going to do the same thing, but we will make sure that we stay focused throughout the whole entire time. But we just got to pray it's in our favor to get it done.
Okay. Coach, in closing, I'm going to ask you a question with double edge to it. Give me your top three girls teams in the area.
Oh, no, don't do that. FAMU DRS. Nah. No, honestly, I'm going to be for real. Definitely Florida High. You got to give credit where credit is due. I think Coach Marshall is doing a phenomenal job there. He's actually a FAMU High alum as well. But, not alum, but he did attend FAMU DRS. But I have much respect for his program. I think he's doing a phenomenal job. So I would definitely say Florida High. Of course, I'm going to put us in there because I feel like we want to elite programs in the city. And I haven't really seen Rickards recently know how they are, but I'm pretty sure Sharia's doing her thing over there as well. That's why, I don't know if you've seen our schedule, we have the Orange Parks on there. That's like a 6, 7, 18. Rains High School is on there. And then we always go to the Gainesville tournament, and I asked to be placed with somebody that's either bigger than us or has made it to the state championship in any class, because that's the only way you're going to get better. I mean, like you just stated, you can be 21-1 and get to state and haven't faced anybody and you get hit in the mouth. But if you used to be in attack and you used to be in challenge, you will look at it as another game that you already faced. So I'm excited about it, and I'm sure the girls are as well.
Well, Coach Cromartie, you and your captain of A's, so I'll start with A's over there. I know they all,
you know what, all
in the
three
classroom too.
Yeah, they start with an A. Hey, triple A's.
Triple A's, there you go.
Triple A's, yeah.
I appreciate y'all taking the time, and we appreciate you taking the time, and we appreciate it, and wish you the best of luck in this coming season, and may everything you wish for and deserve come true for you.
Thank you so much for even having us, and we appreciate it. And thank you for staying with us through the technical difficulties.
Coach, ESPN have them, so we don't even worry about that.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and good luck to y'all. Follow INSiiGHTS now.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
You too. Triple A's, huh? Like Duracell or Energizers.
Yeah, Coach Cromartie. Well, you've seen them when you in Lakeland, or at least FAMU High. they kind of one of the better programs consistent in the city, and she does a pretty good job with them. She really does. And we've been on now 45 minutes, and we have been pretty much strictly high school, and I have enjoyed it. I thought that Coach Tyson did a heck of a job interviewing and giving some insight. And one of the things I'm really happy about is the fact that he faced his personal ministry and talked about it and did not shy away from it, which a lot of people do.
One body. I really like that, and you can see in him how his faith carries him, and you can just hear it. You can hear it. I haven't seen this team play, but I can imagine that. I mean, you have some knuckleheads, of course, but just overall foundation discipline. That's great. That's great. I got another team to follow now in the daggone playoffs, huh?
Yeah. And historically, Lincoln has had good programs. I mean, the coach, B.J. Daniels, who I'm sure you know, he was the coach
South Florida.
last year. And then Quinn Gray was the coach before then. So, they've had some good coaches over the years. They really have. But we also have another component. Remembering the legend.
Segment of Legends, we will focus on a man who made the phrase mobile, agile, and hostile a prerequisite for his football players. Today, we spotlight the greatest coach in FAMU history and one of the greatest football coaches of all time, Alonzo Smith, Jake Gaither. Born in Dayton, Tennessee in 1903, Gaither arrived in Tallahassee in 1937 as an assistant coach. He became head coach in 1945, and for the next 25 years, helped change the landscape of college football. His first team went 9-1, but the next year, his Rattlers lost 4 games. Never again under Gaither would the Rattlers lose that many games in a season. Only 2 other times would his teams lose more than twice in a single season. Gaither was an innovator. He often said he wanted his players to be agile, mobile, and hostile. Instead of a first, second, and third team on the depth chart, Gaither's players were part of the blood, sweat, and tears unit. His famed split line T offense was held and copied by many across college football. When he would host football clinics, coaches from all over would come to learn from him, including the likes of Woody Hayes and Paul Bear Bryant. By the time Gaither retired following the 1969 season, he had amassed a record of 203 wins, only 36 losses, and 4 ties. His 84.4 winning percentage was the best of his era across all divisions and still ranks among the top 10 all time. Gaither's teams went on to win 22 conference titles and 6 black football national titles. 42 of his players went on to play in the NFL, including former Olympian Bullet Bob Hayes, Willie Gallimore, and Ken Rowley. Perhaps his greatest accomplishment, however, was playing in the first game between an HBCU school and a PWI in the Deep South, when FAMU traveled to Tampa to take on the Spartans. The Rattlers won the game 34-28, but just as important, helped debunk the notion that HBCUs were inferior to PWI, as well as the notion of whites and blacks couldn't commingle without violence. Coach Gaither died at the age of 90 in 1994, but he is not forgotten. A playground, public golf course, community center, street, neighborhood, and campus gymnasium are all named in his honor. Jake Gaither, a legend on and off the football field.
Coach Gaither. Mm, 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 mm.
He had so many former players that came to his funeral, and it was really, really, really very special. He was actually the athletic director when I attended FAMU when I came up as a freshman, and didn't have my name on the scholarship list. So I was getting ready to go home, and my dad, who had spent a year out there acting like he was going to play football before they told him he had to stay with basketball. He told me to go talk to Jake. And so I went to see him and told him what happened. So Jake, I said, well, Coach, they telling me if I pay my way the first semester, they'll put me on scholarship the next semester. So I don't feel I have to do that. I can go back home and go to school. So Coach Gaither said, Sonny boy, hold on. He reached in his back pocket, pulled his checkbook out. He said, let me see your registration. And he wrote a check to cover my fees the first semester. And the second semester, I was put on scholarship. Not a Florida A&M check. It was Alonzo S. Gaither check. He personally wrote a check out to keep me in school. And
Wow.
he was that's the kind of guy he was. And he said, all I want you to do is when you finish, I need you to bring me your grades so I could see what you did. All A's and a C, and he was cussing me out about the C. And see, he was Coach Gaither. I mean, Coach Gaither was the kind of guy when it was time for the Orange Blossom Classic. The older coaches would always tell you stories. It was time for the Orange Blossom Classic, which is in Miami. And the coaches, his assistants, would drive. Well, they would drive down there because Jake was not a very good driver. When they would get 2 blocks from the hotel, Jake would tell him, baby, pull over. I said, no, Coach, we got it. No, baby, pull over. Coach, I said pull over. So they would pull over. Jake would get behind the wheel, roll up in front of the hotel, jump out the car still moving, talking about, we made it, baby, we made it, we here. And the guys jumping all across the seat and everything else, trying to put the foot on the brake before the car ran into something. Jake was as legendary a bad driver as he was coach. And I learned real quickly, if you were in when I was coaching and he would still come up and everybody would say, Jake in the parking lot, Jake in the parking lot. And I'm watching these coaches, these run out of their classrooms and offices. And then everybody, I said, what is going on? They said, man, shoot, you better stop talking and come move your car. Don't let him go out there and parallel park because it was bumper stickers. Boom.
Oh,
boom.
My goodness.
Boom.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm in there. So I'm like,
y'all gonna leave Coach Gaither alone. Y'all gonna leave he was preparing y'all. Even that was a lesson some kind of way. I don't know, Coach. I'm with you. Oh my goodness, that is great. That is
everybody
great.
Ran. You didn't play with Jake. Now when Jake said it, that's what it was. And I always missed some of the older coaches who had experienced, which I'm not an older coach, but they talk so much about, the stories and the things that went on. I mean, somebody has to tell the stories. Somebody has to tell them. Good job. I don't know who Rick is doing next week, y'all, because he ain't told me. But let me go to pick him. Sports Diva, I'm surprised she hadn't said anything on here yet. She had her first perfect score, got all of them right, and is now tied for second place. So for all those people who say women can't pick, Sports Diva's in the house. She's been talking junk all year, and she did a really good job. She had 6 games. Oh, she says, I'm coming for you, Rick, in all caps. In fact, you two are tied. She had 6 winners last week. Todd Lampley had 4. I had 4. You had 3. The Land had 1. And your boy Les B, winners of the week, had 1 winner.
Ooh, goodness.
So it's kind of, Todd got 36 winners. You and Sports Diva at 34. The Land at 32 and Les B at 32. And I'm still bringing up the rear.
Coach, second half. second half of the season is about to start now. So, I mean, now's the time to get into your groove. You're just working on your combinations. You're seeing who's going to fit here and there. Now you got your rotation down. Now you can get rolling now. It's conference time now, so it's time to rock.
Oh, Sports Diva say yada, yada, yada.
Diva, you got 2 more weeks before I leave you in the dust. So I told you 3 weeks ago, you better come on. Keep
You
on
did
coming.
say that.
Keep on
You
coming.
did say that.
Keep on coming.
I
You got
think
2 more weeks.
the thing I did was I messed around and thought I had picked mine and didn't click save. And that killed me. That killed me.
Wah, 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 wah.
And Chiquita Miller, always, Chiquita always has a little bit. She says, FAMU graduate was reelected in Cairo, Georgia.
Oh.
Mayor Gaynor, congratulations. Thank
Way
you.
to go. Way
we
to go.
appreciate that.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you, Ms. Miller. Appreciate that.
Yeah. She doesn't say, but that's Dr. Miller. Go ahead, Chiquita. I'm proud of her. She proud
Sorry,
of
Doc.
her. She goes there from Cairo. She usually, when she comes home, she always comes and checks on her coach. Well, I appreciate everybody and for being with us. We had a real heavy high school show today. We should get some people to support these coaches and programs. We got McClay High School boys coming up next week. We've already interviewed them and talked to Coach Granger, whose dad was a trainer at FSU. His mom was my classmate. Oh, he like family. So we have them coming up next week, and by the time we get the Pick'em crew back on, so we can hear them face to face, settle some discussions.
Oh boy. Next week or a week after that?
We probably need to have them next week. Chiquita Miller, have a great week. We appreciate you, Chiquita. But ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate y'all being with INSiiGHTS, and those of you who have Terry Nia, my teammate, my team captain, who says he listens to us doing his workout, puts his earplugs in and does his work. We appreciate the supporters. Sports Diva with a shout out to DRS, and we appreciate y'all. It's getting a little cool nationwide. Y'all make sure y'all stay warm because this is the time of year actually COVID spreads again. And over in Europe and parts of Asia, it's starting to surge again. So this thing isn't over, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you.
Your mask. As Earl said, mask up. Wear your mask.
Wear your mask. You know that boy Earl, he got some issues.
He's special.
Stay up to date with the latest from INSiiGHTS. Visit our website at INSiiGHTS.com. 2 I's in the middle, INSiiGHTS.
INSiiGHTS is a copyright of Mac4 Enterprises, a Florida corporation. This broadcast is produced under the exclusive ownership of Mac4 Enterprises and is the intellectual property and trademark of Mac4 Enterprises. Comments of the host and other individual speakers on INSiiGHTS represent their independent thoughts and representation.
We appreciate all of you. Love everywhere. Say wear your mask. We'll see you next week.
Peace.